So this soap is gorgeous. Gorgeous. And I have 100% redeemed myself from the weird marble epoxy test thing that I did like over the summer or several months ago at this point. Time means nothing anymore. And I cannot wait to show it to you. And I'm going to do so in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 346 of 365 days of soap, and we are doing a new Amy Warden Soap challenge thing. We are doing the marble technique, which was an actual challenge, and that's cool. And yeah, again, several months ago, because I'm still on a huge epoxy kick, because we are doing a remodel and addition, and I'm actually epoxying all the countertops for the kitchen and the pontoon and the bathroom, all of the things. Yes, and so epoxy is still my thing very much, yes. And I tried to do a crazy thing with just seeing what soap batter would actually withstand, i.e. to how much oils you could take out of it and not let those go through the emulsion, and what your end result would be. And it was ugly. The soap is actually really nice though. Like the lather on it is so creamy and delightful. It very much reminds me of a Castile. But anyway, not the point. We're not doing a Castile today. We're doing a marble technique, and my marble soap is gorgeous, if I do say so myself. So I want you to go see it and acknowledge that, I'm not being self-deprecating today, because when we are good at things, and I am usually good at things, it is okay to pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, I did a good job. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we are using Maple Street's Volcano Capri Blue for this, which is a really good scent blend. It says it's a type, and I'm not 100% sure what type it is. Volcano Capri Blue. Let's look it up, shall we? And those are the colors that I am using for all of that. And we are doing a marble soap today, which is cool. Who does this? Is it Anthropology? Capri Blue. Is it just called Capri Blue? Like that's the company? Is that what it is? Capri Blue candle. I don't know what type it is really, but it is a very, very good scent blend. So it's got very like tropical fruity notes in it. It's got some citrus, and it's very delightful. I really, really love this one. For sure. Kaolin clay is going into the batch, the entirety of the batch. And yeah, this pour, my God, it was so much fun. Now, you remember a few months ago wherein I was talking all about my obsession with epoxy pouring? And I think it's called stonecutter epoxy, whatever, crazy epoxy slab. I should actually put up some pictures on the community tab of the weird things that I've been epoxying, because there have been a lot of them. Like the counters at the pontoon were my most recent one, and they were beautiful. But anyway, I decided to make a weird soap and see like just how far you could push the limits with reserving oils from the batch and doing, essentially really thick, heavy oil mica lines throughout an entire batch to see just what you could do. Sprinkle some glitter in. Do that that was one of the most fun experiments that I've ever done in soap making, and it was super weird and super whatever, and you know, you can go back and watch it, but it didn't work. I mean, it became soap, but it was ugly soap for sure. So we're gonna do a proper marble epoxy pour today, and you know, because it's part of the soap challenge, all the things, right? And so that's great. Now we have 3 colors that will be going down for like the bulk of the soap. And then we will also have mica drizzles in that. We will also have mica lines in it. I mean, it's going to be wild. It's going to be super duper fun for sure. And this is, you know, the right way to do a marble soap, really. And so that's exciting that we get to do this. And of course, you know, me being me, I will be doing weird things with it and mess it up in different ways because, you know, why not? This is what I do. So yeah, the scent blend goes into all 3 of them. There's obviously more white there than the blue and the pink. So there's that. And it will be poured into the, I mean, you're going to watch it get poured into the mold. So sorry, I had to, you know, tell the Soap and Clay kidlets to take it down half a notch, please, because I love you jumping and running and doing all the things, but I'm also distracted. So the idea with this is it's like a thin lines pour, right? Wherein you are layering in different colors into your main batch, your main base, and then you will pour it into the mold, kind of like the clamshell, kind of like literally any thin lines. And so your batter has to be just the right fluidity, and I would actually say that this batter is a little bit too thin for what needs to be done here. And also to do it again, I would use less blue and pink, as I'm realizing right now. But let's go to the pour and you can see how I worked past that. Okay, now on to the pour of this guy. Now I have blocked off half of a regular like 12 bar slab for this, and I'm going to just put some lines of color down, pulling towards me in a lot of random way. It's very much like an acrylic fluid pour, like a fluid acrylic pour. There's just, as you continue to layer different things and lines and patterns sort of show up, and it's beautiful. So for that reason, you do want a fluid batter. Again, mine's a little bit too fluid though, because we're basically losing all of the white that existed, and the colors are muddying together in mostly like a bluey. Oh, there's some white. Cool, good, love it. But I made the mold in such a way to prop it up at the halfway point, because I'm going to pour, you know, a 12 bar batch into half of the mold. So I still get 12 bars, but I'm going to be cutting them from the middle as well. And this thing is freaking cool right here. This was the one thing that I was just, you know, because you know how much I love mica lines and all the testing of mica lines. I was just watching the tutorial, and Amy Warden's like, so here's something that you can do. You can, you know, you can use pantyhose, right? Over the top of just your mica container. And I went, well, I don't have pantyhose, but I've got muslin, because that's what I wrap all my bath bombs in. And so I just took I just took a rubber band and put the muslin on top of the actual mica container, and I'll be damned if that didn't create a cool mica line, right? Now, this is also similar to the pointy layers technique. It's kind of what I'm doing here to sort of push down the mica line into certain areas, and eventually it all gets covered up. But based on how thick you pour in areas, it creates, you see how it's moving that mica into different places. It's creating kind of veins, which is awesome. And so you don't have a straight line, because like marble doesn't really have there's no really straight anything, right? And so this is me sort of incorporating the thin lines as well as the pointy layers, as well as, I mean, there's a lot going on with this one really. And so that's cool. But the reason that I actually blocked off half of the mold is because I want the bars to have internal mica lines, as well as, you know, I want the internal marbling as well as the top and bottom marbling. And so I thought this is actually just a cool way to do it, and see if I can, when we're cutting it open like a geode or an agate or whatever, we can see what kind of like texture and weird veininess there is inside of it. So that was the thinking for that. Now, as a result, I am doing a number of different things. I did that one mica line, poured a little bit of soap on it, and now I am doing a mica drizzle. Now I reserved a couple ounces of the soap oils for this. This is a soaping, I'm soaping at 7% for this, and 2 ounces for 2 different colors. So 4 ounces in total were reserved from the entire batch, so I can mix it with a mica and get the drizzle going on. Because 2 ounces, 4 total ounces out of the batch doing its thing should be fine. And then, you know, again with the thing in a muslin cloth. This is the best way to do mica lines ever, you guys. Like, this was fun and effective and awesome. So that, yes, for sure. I mean, it gets all over the place, but I didn't have to spend 3 minutes doing it. That was pretty simple, for sure. And yeah, and the rest of the soap, it's kind of going to be the same process again. So essentially at this point in the cut or in the pour, I'm building the next section of bars. I'm about halfway up in the mold, so I'm building the next section of bars that will hopefully have some gold lines and some, you know, mica, all of the jazz, all of the things. This pour was actually really just weirdly fun to do. Even though it involves, you know, the one thing that I really dislike, which is mica lines, right? But because those mica lines were so fun to lay down, I ultimately ended up putting multiple mica lines in all of this because, shit, that's fun. Yeah, bang the bottom and oh, look at that. Winning. That was a complete winner for me. And I'm just pouring a little bit more soap over the top of it before I can do another mica line because I want it to, on all sides of the soap, to look like a piece of marble, right? And that's the plan. But this is also what I ended up deciding to do with the extra pink and blue soap batter because I had too much of it, really. And I wasn't really planning on the whole thing being pink and blue. I was going for white with, you know, a little bit of pink and a little bit of blue. I actually am going to post the picture of our counters out at the pontoon, actually, because this was the inspiration for the color palette, was my counters, my epoxy counters that I made for the pontoon. So I'll totally post those so you guys can check that out and you can tell me whether I, you know, nailed it or not. Now, this soap is actually getting thicker than maybe I necessarily want, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. We'll see in the cut whether you can tell the difference essentially between the top bars and the bottom bars in this slab mold, and also whether it even matters. You know, I mean, whatever. We'll see which, if there is a difference, then, you know, maybe I decide to pour things at a thicker consistency if I like the ones that were on top more than the ones that were on bottom. All the jazz. And these ones are definitely going to be more pink than white because, again, I measured out too much. Or pink and blue. So I measured out too much of the pink and the blue. So there it is. But this particular oil blend that we used for this, I did want to use my swirls. And so it is a 60% liquid oils. Those oils being 30% olive and 10% canola and 10% argan and 10% apricot. And then the 40% solid is coconut oil and babassu in equal parts. And yeah, more mica drizzles and more pounding and doing other things. Cool. Mica drizzles are fun. I always forget about how fun they are and just never think to do them. But, you know, I was required to for this challenge. So I did it. And yeah, like, that's actually kind of interesting. I'm interested to see what that does in those soaps because you saw how far I'm pushing out the mica line at this point. So, I mean, it's cool. It's fun. This is as satisfying as doing an epoxy pour to get like a marbling technique or whatever. Like, I'm 100% here for that. Like, that's awesome. And at this point, yeah, it's just getting the rest of once I have the little lines and the divots and all of the, you know, veininess or whatever, I'm just going to get the rest of it into the mold and get it ready for the oven, where we will definitely be C-popping and gelling this, because for something like this, when you have the mica lines, like the mica drizzle, so just straight oils hanging out in your soap, yeah, you totally want to get some heat to that to help the, you know, the caustic soap batter that has seen lye and is going through its saponification phase, to really hit and find these oil pockets that are just not saponified at all, and sort of leach from that and help that create, you know, turn into soap as well. So yes, that. Now, so this will be like the top of another bar of soap, this whole, yes. And so I wanted to put some mica lines in there. And in some cases, I'm actually just putting my pipette directly into the oil, into the soap batter itself. And so there'll be, the thought is there'll be different texture and layers, and let's like ogres and onions and all the things. Yes, point is, this was fun as shit, and I don't think there's actually a wrong way to do it. So let's go check out the cut and, you know, see if I'm right or wrong in that belief system. Okay, and on to the cut of this. Now, this is the top of the slab and all of the jazz, and it's got cool stuff inside for sure. I'm very interested to see how it all looks as we start cutting, you know, the top from the bottom and into, you know, all of its little pieces, really. And so for that, I'm going to get my trusty tape measure out, and I'm going to make the center mark there as well as the side mark, so we can cut these into 6 pieces, right? And then each of those 6 pieces will be cut in half from top to bottom to get 12 total bars, and hopefully reveal some cool marbling patterns inside of all those. So yeah, just doing the thing, cutting them all, whatever. And I'm so stupidly excited to see the inside of these bars at this point, because it was just a very, I had a sort of plan moving into it, but then I just kind of let the pour guide me, and there wasn't any no real expectations, no real like absolute technique with all of this. You walk into a marble going, okay, so what does marble look like? How can we make it look like marble? How do we use mica lines? How do we use the, you know, the oil micas, the mica drizzles to our advantage, and, you know, all the jazz. And again, my colors, maybe they're not marble, but I used my micas. That's cool. I used my soap micas to make epoxy countertops, and so I used the exact same ones for this actual soap, because I thought that would be fun. Now again, we're just going to slice them top to bottom and see what we have in the inside of these, and that's pretty cool. We've got some cool veining going on there, and then you can see the stuff on the sides as well, and that's pretty. I like that for sure. These are, oh, you should just do marble pours. Like, I'm actually looking at all of this going, can I just make my entire line that? Because these were just therapeutic to make. And like, whenever I have a pour that just is just across the board fun, I do that. Like, it's, yes. And that's actually saying something, because this, oh, those are cute. Look at the little drizzles and the mica lines, and how there's a little bit of black in there with the gold. And then this one has more of the black mark. So again, that was from doing the very light, kind of like the pointy layers thing over the black mica line. Those are cool. Very pretty, very subtle. Now you could totally up the, you know, oomph factor by using brighter colors, different colors of mica lines, but that's gorgeous. Look at those veins. That's delightful. I love that. But yeah, no, the soap challenges has kind of been taking it out of us, because we're having to do like specific things, and our creativity's been super stifled lately. So that I really enjoyed this one so much, because it is kind of just all about the creative process. Yeah, I'm here for that. And the scent blend, again, that is a lovely blend, perfectly works for these colors. And I don't know, I love my marble soaps, guys. That is a day 346 Amy Warden Soap Challenge, Marble Soap Challenge, my turn. And yeah, I'm hooked. I'm sold. Those things are beautiful. And you they're my marble soaps, and yeah, I love them. They're so pretty, and it was so much fun to make them just in general. And that shaky thing for the mica with the thing over there, I mean, it's the most obvious freaking way to use and put down a mica line like ever, but ingenious. So that if nothing else in that video you liked, hopefully you liked, that's a nice hack. I like that for sure. And the scent blend is actually really delightful. Maple Street has been really good. And I actually have to thank the Facebook page Scent Sluts and Hoes for the Maple Street suggestion anyway, because I had no idea they even existed. And they've been great. Like, so far, so good. No real problem. So that's awesome. If you're interested in these soaps, you can totally get them tomorrow after the Soap Prentice has her turn with the marble. And if you would like to see what the Soap Prentice does for the marble technique, you should subscribe to the channel. Come back, because she's always doing amazing things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she decides to do for her marble, and I think you should too. For those of you who are subscribed and are going to come back to see what the Soap Prentice did with her marble technique, thank you for being subscribed. I appreciate you so very much. I'm out of here for today. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.